geometry triangles. So triangles is again something that have rules, and if you remember the rules, then you remember triangles. So let's just start with the rules. You have a triangle, you have angle A, angle B, angle C, and the rule for triangles is A plus B plus C equals 180. So always remember that, and just write it out neatly. A plus B plus C, that equals 180. So just write this down before we continue, because we're going to use this for all the examples that is going to follow. So let's remove this. So let's start with a simple triangle. We have this triangle over here. We have angle 53A and 38. Now again, if you see variables in here, always just remember that that's the variable we need to work out. In this case, we have 3 angles, and like I mentioned just previously, the 3 angles equal 180. So here we can write straight A plus 38 plus 53 equals 180. And when we do that, we're going to have A, calculate the 2 numbers, which is 38 plus 53. That gives us 91. Keep the 180 over there. And then A becomes 180 minus 91. And that gives us 89. So angle A equals 89. To check if it's correct, you can check on a calculator 89 plus 38 plus 53. And indeed, we do get 180. Then you know that's correct. Let's do another one, but just slightly different. We have a triangle 2B, B, and 27. So what's the equation? The 3 angles, that one, and that one is going to equal 180. So we're going to write B plus 2B plus 27 equals 180. You can't see it. Let me just write it with a different color. So B is the green. The yellow is 2B. And the green is 27. So that 3 angles equals 180. So what is B plus 2B? That gives us 3B plus 27 equals 180. Then 3B equals 180 minus 27. 180 minus 27. That is 153. So 3B equals 153. And if you work it out, you'll get B equals 153 divided by 3. And that answer will be 51. Are we going to check if it's right? We're going to come back to the triangle over here. So we have the green is B, which is the 51. This B and 51 over here. Yellow part is 2B. So 2 times 51 gives us 102. And then we have another angle of 27. So we have the 3 angles of 51, 102, and 27. And if you work that out, you will get 180. Equals, that 3 together will be 180. That will be the total. Just a quick way how I work this out now. I just said 50, 51. But I just said the 50 plus 1. And then for the yellow, I said 100 plus 2. And for the green, I said 30 minus 3. So if you look at this part over here, cancel out. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 minus 2 is 3. And on the left, you have 50 plus 100, which is 150 plus 50 is 180. As we go along, I usually will just share some tricks that I've learned to do my work much easier. Let's do another example. as you can see, as we progress, it gets uglier and uglier. But the rule in maths is once you understand the basics, then you must just, from the basics, determine how to get to the answer. So we have this over here. So how are we going to work it out? So let's first see how many variables we are talking about. Variables is different letters we have. So here we have a C, and here we have a 3D and a 2D. So we're sitting with variables D, and we sit with variable C. So we can't work out the insides of this triangle at this stage because we have a C and a D. So let's leave that for later. What I can see, what we can do over here is a straight line. And this straight line has got two angles. The two angles is the 180 and the other angle, 100. And the other angle is C. So that two we can actually use to determine at least C. C is the yellow part. So let's see if we can do this. And just keep it like that. So that's C, the green. So that we can say C plus 100 equals 180. If you haven't watched my geometry of straight lines, please look at that, because in that video I went into detail how to work out this part. So this answer will be C equals 80. So now we have C equals 80. So now what is interesting, we have a number here and only one unknown variable, which is D. So let's see if we can get to an answer. So now the insides of the triangle is the 80. It's going to write like that. Then we're going to have this 2D over here plus 2D. And we also have this angle over here, 3D plus 20. So just write everything as is. So I'm just going to do this. So we have the 80, which is the one. We have the plus 2D, which is the other one, plus 3D, which is the third one. So as you can see, we have the three angles. So but now what is that equal to? All of that is going to equal 180. So let's just remove the brackets and see if we can just fit the 180 in over here. There we go. So now we have one unknown, the D's, and we have two numbers. So let's write it out properly. So we have 2D plus 3D plus 80 plus 20, and that gives us 180. Then the 2D and the 3D, that together gives us 5D. The 80 and 20 together gives us 100 equals 180. Then 5D equals 180 minus 100, which gives us 80. And then you just write here on this side, D will equals 80 divided by 5. I think that answer will be 16. So let's just see if this is correct. So this is the answer we get for D. So we have C, which is 80, and we have now D, which is 16. But to work it out, let's just see if what we can do. So if we have C equals 80, we have this angle over here, which is 80. We have the top angle over there, which is 2D. So 2D equals 2 times 16. The 16 is the 16 over here. I just put in the place of D. That gives us 32. And then we have the 3D plus 20 equals 3 times 16 plus 20. That equals 48 plus 20, it's 68. So let's just highlight, we have a 68, which is this part over here. We have 2D, which equals 32, and we have the 80. And if we add all of that up, you do indeed get 180. Because the 32 plus 68 gives us 100, plus the 80 gives us 180. Then we know our sum is correct. Let's do another one. So let's do a triangle that looks like that with an E over there. Just do it properly. Triangle with an E over there. 25 degrees over here. And what they give, they just put 2 lines over there. So this is another rule of maths, that if you have 2 lines like this, it actually means this angle and this angle is exactly the same. So that's just the rule of maths. Maybe you can write this down as well. If you have an angle like that and 2 lines like that, it means if that angle is x, then that angle will be x as well. So just write that down, keep it on your page. So if we have a sum like this, it means if this is E, then this will also be E. So we can already write that E over there. And then the sum actually becomes much easy, because now we have E plus 25 equals 180. And you know the drill by now, 2E plus 25 equals 180, which is 2E equals 180 minus 25, which is 2E equals, what is that, 155. It's going to give us something different now, but let's work it out. So E equals, that's going to be 70 something, 77.5. So let's work with this for now, 77.5, and see if we can get to the right answer. If we plug this into there, 77.5, and in there, 77.5, then we're going to get 77.5 plus 77.5 plus 25. And if you do work it out, you'll get 155 plus 25, which is 180. Therefore, we know E 77.5 is correct. Next example is a triangle that's now going to look like that, with a 40 degrees over there, F plus 20, and now we have 2 lines. Again, like the other one, if we have the same number here, there's 2 lines and 2 lines, it just means that this angle over here and this angle over here is the same. So just be very careful of the direction that we are talking about. So if we flip this triangle around, it's going to look something like this. The 40 on top, the 2 lines over there, F plus 20 there, and the unknown on the other side. So let's call the unknown, actually this is F plus 20 as well. Because if this is F plus 20, then this is also F plus 20. So then this here will be F plus 20 as well. So I just drew the triangle 2 ways so that you can just see how it looks. Because you have to visualize and see the triangle to understand that these 2, if they, this means that this line over here and this line over here is exactly the same. So once you have that, then this angle and that angle is the same. So in the other triangle, you have this line and this line that's the same. That's what these 2 are marking. And if we have that, then there's it. So I just drew it differently. Let's just remove everything I did. Okay, I'm just going to remove this triangle for now because it's exactly the same. So now we have in this one, the 40, F plus 20, and F plus 20. And now we can work it out. So angle 1 is F plus 20. Angle 2 is also F plus 20. And notice how I keep it in brackets. Plus the 40 equals 180. And from here, it's just working out. There's a F plus 20. I'm just removing the brackets. So we have this f over here and that f. That 2 gives you 2f. Now we have to add up all the numbers. There's a 20, plus 20 is 40, plus 40 is 80. So 2f plus 80 equals 180, which is 2f equals 180 minus the 80, that equals 100. So if 2f is 100, then f is 100 divided by 2, which gives us 50. So f is 50. So let's put this 50 in there. Then this angle is going to be 50 plus 20, which equals 70. And if this is 70, then this is also 70. And yes, the 70 plus the 70 plus the 40 equals 180. And if we do that, then we know we are correct. Let's do another one. And this is now getting more trickier. So I just need to draw this properly. It's going to look like that, something like that. Here we have 120. There we have G plus 5. And we have another triangle there. That is 2J. That is 65. That is H. And that is 105. So this is a lot of information on one page. So we have to determine how we're going to tackle it. So this is the last example we're going to do. So let's just think clearly what we are dealing with. So again, let's just look on top. What variables do we need? And any variable that is unknown is a variable that we need. So here we have a J. Then we have a H. You see another one. Yes, there's a G. So that's the 3 we're going to tackle that we need. So what's the best way to do it? We need to find something that we can work out where we have an equation with only one variable. So I can see here's a straight line over here, and that straight line consists of this angle over here, 120, and this angle over there of G plus 5. So that looks like something we can do. That will give us G. So before we continue, let's see if we have another one. So here it's interesting where it looks like we have a straight line there with 2 angles, H and 105. So there's the 2 angles, H and 105. So this is 105. Let me just write it properly. That's 105. And let's leave J for now. This is J. Let's leave that for now. We can tackle it later. Let's first do the G. So we're going to do this part first, this part second, and then this part. Why I'm not doing this now? Because in this triangle, we can say H plus 2J plus 65 equals 180. But now we sit with 2 variables. For example, we're going to have, I'm going to try to draw the triangle. So in this triangle over here, I just took this triangle and just made it neater, or put it separately. So here we have H plus 2J plus 65 equals 180. But we sit now with the H and with the 2J, and we can't really work out H and J in this type of equation. So that's why I'm going to leave this for last. And what I'm going to do is first, like I mentioned, the G. So let's continue. So in this case, we have G plus 5 equals 120. That is this G plus 5 and that 120. Oops, sorry. Let me just repeat again. So it's the angle G plus 5 plus 120. That equals 180. So that's the G plus 5 over here plus this angle over here. So these 2 angles gives us 180. Again, if you didn't watch my geometry straight line video, please do it. then you understand this in more detail. So G plus 5, let's simplify that. And then we have the 120 equals 180. So this should be easy for you by now. Equals 180. G equals 180 minus 125. And that gives us, that's 75, 55. Just double check. Yes, so that answer is 55. So we have G equals 55. Okay, so we onto something. Then now we need to do the H, which is over here. So let's just put that in the block. And at the bottom, I'm going to write the H plus 105 equals 180. So H, if you work that out, you will get 75. So there we have H equals 75. So we have G equals 55. So let's see what can we do with that. So here we have H equals 75. So this we can actually put into there. And if we do that, we have this is 75. I'm just going to go to the next screen. So for the next screen, I'm just going to draw the one triangle where we just need to work out J. Or not, let's try to put it in here. Let's try to put it in this red block over here. And we have everything on one page. So for this, we have H is 75. So now we can just write H, which is now 75, plus the 2J, plus 65, and all of that will equal 180. And if you do that properly, like we did the other stuff, you will have 75 plus 65 is 140. So you have 2J plus 140 equals 180. And I'm just going to go straight to the answer. 140 minus 180 minus 140 is 40 divided by 2, which gives us J equals 20. So now we have the three variables. J equals 20. In this case, you're on top. J is 20. The H is 75. And the G is 55. Is this correct? Let's see. So let's just remove this part for now. So is this correct? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this part over here, and I'm going to say 2J plus 65 plus H, and see what I get. I want to get 180. Let's see if it's right. So J equals 20. So that means this is 2 times 20. And then we have the 65. And then we have H, which is how much? 75. And if you work that out quicker than me, you'll get 40 plus 65 plus the 75. And what is that answer? 65 plus 75 is 140. 140 plus 40 is indeed 180. If we get that part, then we know we are correct. As you can see, this was a lot of information on the screen. So, and therefore, I would just urge you just to look at this again and just go into detail what we have done. Because as you can see, we can just recap again. Here we have a straight line. So I first looked at that to work out G. Then I looked at this straight line over here to work out H. And then after I found H, I plugged it into this triangle over here to get J. So here in this part, we have the J, the H, and the G. And if we put that into this formula over here, we do indeed get 180. That is what we want. We wanted 180, and therefore we know we are correct. So that was geometry, the triangles. This is the basics of triangles. Therefore, I would really want you and encourage you to just go over these videos over and over. And once you understand this, trust me, it gets much bigger and much more difficult and complicated in the higher grades. But if you know and understand this, then everything will be well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.